Hello everyone, how's it going? Who have we got in the chat? Sorry about this spontaneous stream. I'm in the doghouse. Jack Bones, Jack Brokenshire, Michael Smith, Anurag, Clean Sheet Wipeout, lovely. Ash, can we see the championship table? Well, here you go, my man. First division. There it is for you. Let me know in the chat if you can see and hear me and I'm not talking to myself, although as it's so short notice I might be, but hopefully people can catch up with it later. Hello, anyone there? Oliver Blake's giving me some hands. There's a bit of a delay. Sambaray, afternoon guys, I hope that means they can hear me. You can hear me, right? I'm going to assume yes. I'm going to crack on and assume yes. We can hear you, Michael Smith. Thank you. Confirmation. It's always good. There's the bottom of the championship. Right. I'm going to fly through this because Andy couldn't do today because he's working. And I'm sitting here thinking, that's fine. I can just do the stream later. We'll do it from 8 rather than 9. Just a little bit earlier. There's no football and stuff. And yeah, I'm going to see Godzilla versus Kong. And we're going for dinner and everything. It's not... In my defence, it's not my actual anniversary date. That was like last week, but I was working, so we couldn't celebrate it. So we planned we'd celebrate it the weekend after. And yeah, totally forgot about that. So the reason it has to be now is because I've got loads of stuff to do before that involving children. So I've literally got to smash it really quickly. And as a result, also the leak, which I put out to a vote, I might have to just do the sub bench because I literally am not going to have the time to sit down and work out what is a green, what is an orange. You know, I want to get it spot on if I'm going to do that as best I can because I don't want to mislead anyone. And that takes time to go through it with a fine tooth comb. So doing the bench is actually easier because it's just, you know, there's no thought process that goes into it. It's just there in front of me. So I think you're getting that. And in my defence, I said, which one would you prefer? And at the moment, I think the other one is winning by like 9%. So it's pretty close. And, you know, you don't always get what you want. So, and I don't apologise. So you get in the bench basically because it's much quicker for me. Right, there was no midweek games. There was some. It was an interesting week in the such that there wasn't that many goals. Like it was quite slow overall. But I think results-wise, it pretty much went to type. I don't think there was any massive surprises here at all. Maybe Everton winning away Derby, probably slightly surprising. I think everything else, Charlton. I mean, they can do this, and Leicester are terrible as well, so maybe that was a bit of a shock, actually. Probably have Leicester to win that, wouldn't you? Or at least maybe a draw, worst-case scenario. And Villa-Arsenal, that was always likely to go either way with both teams attacking. So, yeah, I think that was the standout game, but the rest of them, a bit binary, a bit ones and twos. But you can't have mad weeks every week. You know, it's one and done, and what we get is what we get. So, there is no midweek Champions League or FA Cups or anything unless I'm being incredibly stupid. Let me just check that. Yeah, so we already had that last. So, Man United are obviously blanking. So this is what they're all going to play before we play next one. So they're not a good one to look at. Millwall are the same, aren't they? They're blanking this week. But virtually everyone else. Did they have Champions League? Oh, they had UEFA Cup. Okay, so some teams have had UEFA Cup. I made that up. Let's go look at that then. So, results of the second leg of the UEFA Cup. Liverpool beat Juventus. I'm finding all this out for the first time now as well, guys. No prep whatsoever. So, Liverpool beat Juventus 2-0. Okay, interesting. 58% possession. More shots. Battered them. The old away game thing. I bet Juventus set up terribly. Yeah. Shocker. So, even though they've got a better team. And Hegem got a goal and a clean sheet. This time at right back, though. Hippier and Ancho played. Assist for Berger, goal for Hegem, goal for Smeets. There's only one assist by the look of it. Nowhere better to be on a hot afternoon, says Graham. Of course, mate, of course. Get that cider cracked. Who else? Is that it? Is that the only English team that's in the UEFA? That's a shame. Roma are through. Milan are through with ease. And Celta are through on extra time. Oh yeah, Leeds, did they already go out, did they, last time? I can't remember now. They did. They lost to Milan, didn't they? Okay, that makes sense. So Liverpool are through. I'm not sure if that has any ramifications moving forward, if they continue to progress. But we will visit that at a later date. At the moment, it doesn't have any that I can see. Who are they scheduled? So they're playing Celta. So definitely got the easier game there. And that happens on Thursday, the 3rd of April. So I imagine that's in a midweek. The second leg's on the 17th of April. So let's just look at their fixtures. Okay, so that's going to be a midweek one, yeah. And again, that's going to be just midweek. So I think we're all good, but we'll double check that because fixtures is definitely not my forte. And let's fly through the teams because I need to get out of here soon. I need to sort the leak out and everything. Let's do it. But meanwhile, put questions and stuff in the chat if you want, and if I notice them, I will fire to it as and when. Let's start with the fixtures first, right? So these are the 5 teams playing today. 5 matches, I should say, playing today. 10 teams. So they're imminently about to kick off. We've got an extra day's recovery for Newcastle, Sunderland, Watford and Derby. Middlesbrough and Liverpool get 2 extra days. And then Chelsea and Ipswich actually play on the Wednesday. So is that because Chelsea are playing? Oh yeah, they're playing Man United in the League Cup final on the 30th. So as a result of that, obviously Chelsea are a little bit ropey because obviously their team news is slightly misleading, I guess, because we give it from this point, and obviously something could happen in that match. You know, other things could happen that may affect it. But because of the deadlines, that's just how it works out. So you have to have a little bit of faith. I suppose that's not too different from the fact that anyone can, who's 2 days after the deadline could get injured in training and whatnot, and we wouldn't know. It's just with this one, the risk is extended a little bit because they've actually got a game as well. However, as it's the League Cup, there is a chance that they just play, even though it's Man United, because the competition is low reputation, they could just put out a second string in this game. Happens relatively often. Man United played second string here, for example. Chelsea played away to Aston Villa and played a second stringish here, so yeah, it could end up being of little consequence. Desai ban, Rory says. Okay, I'm not sure, we'll have a check. We shall have a check. Let's go through the teams. And I shall check this each time just to make sure. So today, home to Blackburn. There's Arsenal set up. Upson is injured for 10 days. Knee ligaments. He got injured in the 3-2 game versus Villa. I'm not sure he's particularly well owned, but it's probably one of their better centre-backs. So they might have one of these clowns come in, Stepanovs or someone like that. Could make an appearance. Keown, etc, etc. But in terms of percent, Thierry's fine. All the big names are fine. Luzhny's 97, Pires 98, etc. The guys with the yellow obviously have got 1 game before. If they pick up under the yellow, then they'll get banned for a game. Canu's actually secured a transfer to Leverkusen now, but it doesn't happen until the end of July, so next season. Aston Villa, who play today, home to Leicester. Seems like a good game to me. They don't have any injuries. Delaney obviously is one, but he doesn't play. He's 2 weeks. Everyone else is fine. Melberg's got that 1 yellow before a ban. Everyone is at 100%. Yeah, they did good last game, didn't they? I saw Henry, man of the match and a goal. Still ticking along. Decent value for that price. Can frustrate you and then pops up. Angel seems like he's got a lot of assists this time. He can actually do much better than this, but he's still been fairly consistent. It's just obviously Dublin keeps scoring. 16 goals in 20 starts. Madness. Hadji feels like he's been doing okay as well, but overall it's not been that great, to be honest. Anyway, so Villa are all good. Blackburn, who play again today away to Arsenal. Horrific game on paper. I imagine that's going to be the old 7-2-1 from them, with 1 up front. Try and get a 0-0. Doesn't always work, of course, but it equally can frustrate the other team. So yeah, probably just a really hard fixture to call. If you have any defenders from either side, I'd consider playing them. Graham S. General question, Luke, or anyone knows, but does the AI understand the league situation? Basically, is it less likely for Man United to rep now than they almost need to win every game? Yeah, it makes no difference. I don't know this for sure. This is only on experience and what I've seen on simming and playing the game for years, but I don't think it makes any difference whatsoever. The only time I've definitely noticed that there is a difference is when the league is won. So if the league is confirmed 100%, they've already won it, they can't mathematically lose it. And they're in other competitions, because I've seen them win it and then not be in any other competitions and continue just to play their strongest team. But what I have seen is if the league is won and they're in other competitions like the Champions League and stuff, then the league just goes out the window. They will literally play, it could be away to Arsenal and they'll play the reserves. So it does have some understanding of it. But I don't think it has a general understanding like what you're suggesting, and we need to go for second place or third, or we're only a few points off. Not that I've ever seen or can at least measure. Again, there's loads of people who love this game and play it. If anyone thinks they know different, then by all means, I'm open to suggestion, but I just don't see it. So Blackburn, Solano went off injured in the last game, so he's out for a month. So that's close to season over. He has got 20 for injury proneness, and that's the problem with him. He's actually had a bit of a shocking season. He's been playing at right back and stuff, but believe me, he's quite expensive in the game because, like you see, he does take penalties, and often he can have a really good season. Like in some of the pricing sims, Solano was really good actually. A lot comes down to how much does he get injured throughout the season? How much does he have to fill in? So he's obviously had a rough one here, but as you can see from his stats with penalties, set pieces, everything, he can be elite. Just didn't work. Everyone else is okay, but like I say, it'd probably be. I think actually when they've played 7-2-1 in the past, they roll out some of these really terrible DMs because they don't have them. So you might see Stephen Wallace play. As you can see here, a few of these guys may suddenly appear. I mean, if you've got two guy or anything like that, then you play him because he could play in the DM spot, and he's been doing fantastic. But yeah, forwards not so much. I mean, De Boer's obviously the one that a lot of people have got. He could be up front on his own. He could be right wing. Wouldn't expect much from him, but if you've got him and he's playing up front as a mid, you'd have to consider it, I suppose, wouldn't you? I mean, I'd be playing him. The thing is, you're getting the bench. You're probably not going to know whether he's up front, right wing, or where he is. So I guess each team will be different, but tempted to play him, but yeah, wouldn't be expecting much, put it that way. Bolton, they are playing home to Spurs today, and injury-wise, they are absolutely fine. I think they've been like this much of the season, to be honest. Bolton have really got away with one most of the season. I don't think hardly any injuries. I think maybe Gardner to start the season, that's about it. Cooper still not really playing since his transfer, so avoid him. Hendry again, 1 yellow from a ban. Sherwood, you can see all that there. Franderson does occasionally feature, but he's 3 weeks with a broken rib. He's also transfer listed and he's 90%, so I'd be surprised if we saw him. Gardner now 7 assists, 4 goals for the season. Not bad, not bad. High average rating. Sometimes can double this assists or even higher. 3 or 4 goals usually max. Be surprised if we see him score much throughout, goal wise from now to the end of the season. But obviously can happen because he's got a great cushion there of 4. But it's the clean sheets that Bolton have got for most of the season, which has been a bit of a surprise. But still a great pick. Home to Spurs as well. Decent game, but it's a double up against him by Spurs wingers. Although Spurs away under McLeish. Again, I haven't run the Sims this season myself, so I don't know what to expect there. Personally, probably not much. I don't think Spurs are up to much. Hendry in need of a rest. Yeah, 93%. It could happen. In my experience, it doesn't seem to mean much, this. If they're fit, they play. But maybe it's something to consider, I suppose. Anurag, was him playing centre mid? Oh, Ronald de Boer. Just AI things. Yeah, pretty much. I mean, I've talked about this before. So, for whatever reason, the game decided it's got people close, people developing. I mean, look at Ludvigson's stats are pretty good. He's young. It's kind of like a Marinelli thing, about the same age. He's developing, getting good. The game wants to give them game time here and there where it can. It's home to Newcastle. It's not strictly a rep game, but Newcastle are a low enough rep where things like that can happen. And it sort of cycles for each position. So, it's come to defender. Weatherall's the first choice. He should be playing here. It cycles through a few other options with a certain percent chance, and Weatherall has got 90% of the pie chart or whatever you want, so he ends up getting it. Then it does it again here, and if Weatherall missed out, he's also in the mix here, then he's in the mix here, and it goes on. So when you've got a player like De Boer, who literally plays in every position, he actually can play left as well, it's just not over 15, which means it doesn't show up down here. He's always in the mix, basically, and this is one of the reasons why him, Selakovic, people like that are often more nailed than others. So it's basically run it for right wing, it's come up with Solano, it's run it for the AMC, and it's come up with Ludvigsson. I don't know the order it's gone in, but as a result, it's run it here, and two guys just had the chance to miss out. Now, two guy, he is actually not nailed particularly. I mean, he played 36 here, but often two guy you'll sort of see between 30, 32, 31, 32 and 38. So we played more than I would expect last season. He's still great, but he's had a few benchings here or there, and because of the formations they play, and he's not actually a midfield centre, he is liable to drop out every now and then. So it was just random. De Boer got a midfield centre spot. He can play there because Ludvigsson featured. I wouldn't expect that will carry on, unless he's developed to a point where it's like Marinelli and he's taking over. I have seen that happen, and De Boer start to drop out to the back end of seasons before because he's not actually that great. He's getting on. But we'll have to wait and see. If it happens again this week and De Boer's missing, for example, or on the bench, and Ludvigsson starts playing, then you start to worry, because I have seen that in pricing sims him drop out towards the back end of the season. However, I don't think it will happen. I think more likely, it's difficult because they're going to play 7-2-1. I know I'm rambling, so it completely changes the formation. But in general, don't worry about De Boer. He'll continue to be up front and right wing like he has all the season, unless it's his time. He's drifted off, which I don't think it is yet. Right, who are we on? Bolton. Let's do Charlton now. Okay, so they play at home to Man City today. Fresh off a win. Man City obviously promoted, so maybe could do okay in this game. Man City have hardly set the league alight. They're usually a lot better than they are in our sim so far, actually. Greg Warren is 1 day with a bruised shin. I'm not sure that'll stop him from playing if they wanted to, but doesn't seem to be first choice. None of these guys really play, but I'm going to click them anyway. Reed, a few days, 90%. The backup keeper, a few days, 90%. Stewart, a week, 90%. Forward, 9%. Yeah, this is why De Boer was 6 million, because again, pricing sim showed us certain things that people aren't privy to, and he was often vetoed towards the end of the season. Sometimes he would just be terrible, to be honest with you. They'd play him up front a lot and he just wouldn't do anything, and eventually would get bombed, and then they'd forget it and he wouldn't play. But he's done really well this one, so just shows you how random this game can be. Powell is suspended for 2 games. Don't think anyone's going to have him, but the rest of the team is all good. Charlton, who play tomorrow, but that's in the League Cup final against Man United. Then they obviously play on Wednesday, so in 4 days. Let's look at their team. So, annoyingly, as you can see right at the top there, I think he was quite appealing for people. That's a strong word to use for Terry, isn't it? But because their fixtures were great, obviously getting bonus, clean sheets, he's looking like an absolutely top tier asset. He's now injured. And he's in my dead team, so I'm pretty annoyed about that, because he was one of my only source of points in recent weeks. He's out for 3 weeks. He got injured for England in a 2-2 draw with Finland, where Kevin Phillips scored 2 goals. He got injured. So he's out for 3 weeks with a calf strain. So it's a muscle injury as well. That's annoying because then he's probably going to be orange. And I hope they don't play him when he's orange and it's that whole chestnut again. But that's quite a long time now. 3 weeks. Now, how many fixtures is that? We're on the 15th, aren't we? So what we're talking? Possibly back for Middlesbrough? Maybe. If not Bolton. So he now... Yeah, is going to miss Ipswich. Possibly home to Middlesbrough. And then he may be back for away to Bolton. Which is not a great game, but there we go. Then home for Watford. So maybe you could bench him. If you can get away with it. Could be worthwhile because their games are great to the end of the season. It's just a really annoying one. I don't know. Everyone will have to look at it as an individual. Yes, so where's Terry? Where's Desai? Sorry. Desai, as far as I can tell, he picked up a yellow last game. It doesn't mention that he's banned at all. And this is a bug with the game often, where the yellows don't particularly tally up and work. So I don't know whether he's banned or not. If I go to here, it doesn't mention that he's out. If I go to the next week for the Ipswich, it already says some team news, as you can see for the players that are currently, that John Terry will be out with a calf strain. And it doesn't mention Desai. So I have no idea what's happened there. And this happened last season with another player. I can't remember who it was now. So, I mean, there's always a chance he is actually banned, but the game doesn't tell us. But all I can do is present what we see, and that is that he looks like he's available. So I'm hoping he is available because I need him. But yeah, I don't know what to tell you. So owners may have got off lucky there. We shall see. Rory Lovely, respect the bug. Yeah, this is why I'm always hesitant with the yellow card thing. So no issue. It also, I mean, when it runs out, is it the end of March? I'm pretty sure. In fact, Google people should have a look, because whatever the rule was in 2002 in real life is what the rule will have been in this game, because obviously it mirrors real life as best it can with all the rules and stuff. So you might want to have a look. It could be that he got the yellow and it was just at the exact moment that that feature finished, and it's now 10 yellows. It could be. Maybe I'm doing the game a disservice, but probably not. Where else are we? Yeah, Melchior wants a new challenge, but he's fine. Everyone's okay. But like I say, you have to be careful with Chelsea because they have got this game against Man United. Could be reserves, might not be reserves, might be a mix, and they've just got 4 days in general where shit can happen. Derby tomorrow away for Watford. Don't think they're particularly well owned. Rip in the chat for Dion Burton. He's got an international ban, yeah, but that's, I mean, unless the game's completely messed up. He's 1 yellow away from a ban in international. I don't think that's relevant. Rips in the chat for Dion Burton. He's 2%. 10 days with strained knee ligaments. Bless him. Blastis does occasionally play. A few days, 90%. Damaged kneecap. Yeah, it is tomorrow, so 7 to 8% on all these guys here. But everyone is fine. Everton today, home to Leeds, and a few injuries by, I think, some fairly well-owned people, at least for many of you. Unsworth is now injured, 10 days, strained knee ligaments. So if you're thinking home game, even if it's Leeds, chance of a clean sheet, might be some bonus. In fact, good, decent chance of bonus actually, up against some strikers who get a lot of the ball and stuff. So a lot of interactions, a lot of chances to win tackles and headers. Might get a penalty. No, he won't be playing. He's injured. 10 days. Knee ligaments. Also, Gravison, who I think's relatively well owned because Everton have had a pretty good fixture list, and I think he was popular not so long ago. I've seen him in a few teams. He's injured for a month. Strained knee ligaments. In fact, CM Fantasy had him, I'm pretty sure. So he's out for a month. So some of us might have Terry, Unsworth and Gravison. Or Terry and Unsworth are quite popular, I think. Combine that with a Man United and Millwall blank. There could be some carnage. Anurag saying some carnage. Didn't have most of the season. Now we've been let off lightly most of the season, I think. Defence in bits. Yeah. Oh dear. 10 days for Duncan Ferguson at 90%. Have seen him play like that before though. Gerrard's 1 day. Everyone else is fine. Keritos didn't score last match. Still got an 8 and some bonus, but that's the first game since he's arrived. So he is human. Good to know. Good to know. Yeah, I feel bad for Gravison owners, to be honest. It was a nice little pick and it's not really been great, has it? Got a 9 though. Could do with having a third wildcard, Rob. Yeah, try and sort that out. Inject the carnage. Ipswich. 4 days, remember. So lots of time for stuff to happen. So this is a tricky one. The website will update as of now. And if you don't watch the stream, you might not know the intricacies. So Tariko's out for a week. Groin strain 90%. Obviously, that'll be a few days by the time the game kicks off. So maybe he could feature, but it's a muscle injury. So I think that's quite rare. Prutton is 3 months. He's done. Season's over. One of the legends of ChampMan. Didn't quite make it for us in our sim. 13 games. Poor average rating. Played out of position a lot of the time. Didn't offer us anything. So a sad end to Prutton. He is done. Hariderson is 2 weeks. He's also got a 3-match English ban starting on the 30th. So if you've got him, he would miss Chelsea, Man United, Middlesbrough from the ban perspective anyway, regardless of the injury. Some nice games here afterwards, so it could be a differential who still gets really high average rating for the last few games of the season. I mean, even home to Arsenal is not bad. Bolton, Newcastle, Charlton, Everton, Arsenal. So maybe, but for now you can forget Hariderson. I mean, to his benefit as well, really high average rating, still getting decent returns, really. If Prutton's out, that's another string to his bow because it's another person less that can take his position. Redknapp is 1 day, twisted ankle, 90%. So he'll show up orange on the website, but obviously he should be fine in 4 days, 100% no injury. Assuming he can keep himself fit for 4 days, because that is a problem for Redknapp. Back from the free hit, says Fantasy Connects, and Gravison and Unsworth were in my squad. Excellent. Yeah, you've been shafted, my friend. Leeds today away to Everton. Yeah, they're looking a lot healthier than they have for a while. Bridges, obviously from his broken leg, is still 3 weeks away, so still might play before the season's out. Hopefully they don't risk him now. And Simon Johnson's a week with a twisted ankle, but the rest of their squad is absolutely fine. So they're looking tasty, and they're obviously top of the league. So the right time for most of their players to be back. Leicester today away to Villa. Nearly everyone is okay. Only one of note is Scowcroft, 10 days, torn groin muscle, but he is 90%. Addy Tor saying looks like Doherty will be in defence given the injuries. I mean, they're away to Chelsea, pretty bad game. Away games against tough opposition, often playing back 5, so potentially 5 or at least 3 for Doherty. Spots here available. I'd go along with that. It looks more likely he'll be in defence than up front. However, there has been situations where that's been the case and he's still been up front. Again, it's that whole lottery for each position. With Doherty, he probably has to avoid it 3 times here. And considering he'll have a large slice of the pie because his reputation and abilities are quite high. So it'll be like high chance here, high chance here, high chance here. So we could avoid all of these and then end up here. But for me, yeah, more likely in defence. Ollie Blake, quite a few will own Terry Unsworth and Doherty, which is not going to be nice. Yeah. Using transfers on defenders isn't particularly helpful, is it either? You could argue going with a two-man defence and just getting your best captain as your transfer and captaining might be more beneficial, and hope, reassess next week. I don't know. It just doesn't feel instinctively right to try and purposely go in with lesser players, does it? But maybe it's the play. Okay, Liverpool, 2 days away to Middlesbrough. Still a few injuries here. Welsh occasionally plays, so I'll mention him. 10 days groin strain. Danny Murphy is a few days, 68%, so he'll be at 70 with 1 day to go, so he could play. Littmanen, 10 days, 52%, could jump up randomly enough, as people do with an orange flag, to hit 70 in time to play, but that would be surprising and rare, so he is probably out as well. Owen is shin splints, 1 month. So we're looking at Fowler and Heskey again. Yeah, Ollie Blake got to play the upside. Feels it's easier to try and catch a captain or the clean sheet. Yeah, clean sheets are tough. I mean, usually it's the likes of United and Leeds and Liverpool that are fairly easy to predict them. Still can get like 20 a season, but even they've struggled a lot. So aside from Chelsea and the randomness of Bolton ones, it's been quite hard, I think. Can I check what percentage dog shit Partridge is? I'm going to go with 78%. 6s and 7s. He's not really done it, has he, at all? Bless him. Got a cap for Ireland, though. Yeah, he's had the opportunity and he's not delivered. A shame, because he's actually, everyone knows he's actually pretty damn good in the game. But this is the variance. Some terrible players can do well and some really good players can do bad. That shit happens. Heskey, who, again, I really do like him as a forward in this game. He is pretty damn good. Scores more goals than all the other Liverpool forwards have given the opportunity. I know he hasn't particularly done that this season, but he showed what he's capable of. It wasn't that game. Obviously, the game before. Was it Brace, man of the match? Against Ipswich? Yeah, decent. Normally he wins a lot more headers and stuff. Obviously, they didn't play that way in this game. But they had a red card as well, so maybe I'm hamming him up too much. Graham saying defender transfer got to be someone with an upside you keep for the rest of the season. Ashley Cole Hipper. Yeah, I think I agree. If you're getting a defender, you've really got to look at bonus and attacking output. Clean sheets are just like a pipe dream, really. Kind of a hope. Yeah, maybe move into one of the other Chelsea fullback. I don't know who's got good fixtures because I'm playing it week on week rather than looking particularly. So yeah, I'd probably just look at who's got the best chance of attacking output and bonus. Maybe Southgate. Southgate's just another bonus, or Desai. Chelsea fullbacks are still decent. Could go Leeds and play boring for the clean sheets for the rest of the season and hope. Not many other particular standouts. Skimmiker from Bolton. Penalties. Not sure what Villa fixtures are like, but Melberg usually does a lot better. Weatherall. These are the kind of guys you want to look at. Ziga's playing left wing for Spurs, so again he's got attacking output there, even if lacking somewhat in clean sheets and bonus, but he's got an upside there. Right, let's move on because I am in a massive rush if you couldn't tell. Charlton away for Man City, and it is today. Could be a target Charlton week. Don't think City are great away from home usually, but Charlton are terrible most of the time, so I wouldn't begrudge anyone going this route. Does feel like a less of a target Charlton week than most for me, but Tiato, One Chop, the big names could do really well. Svensson, they're all fit enough. Oh, West Ham, what Richard done. But there we go. Hayworth is a 1 week, 90%. So it should be full team from them, really. Nicky Weaver's listed for loan. It's good for Nash owners. Man United, they don't play, so I don't know whether it's worth mentioning it. Obviously, they've got their Bayern game, which is crucial towards their double or triple game week chances. And they've also got the semi-final. They've got so much stuff before the next time we get an update. So many games, so much can change. Right now, though, as you can see, everyone's fine apart from Mads Tim. A lot of these guys are ineligible. Champions League, stuff like that. So we will revisit. Middlesbrough, 2 days until they play Liverpool at home. So these guys like Miller 90%, he should be fine, should be at 100. Boxic the same, everything. He's a little bit unhappy with his manager for some reason, Boxic. Enjoys the team style of play. That's always generally a sign that the player does pretty well in their system. I think Pedersen had it for large parts last season, etc. He's obviously doing very well. So Rickard and Boxic still good. Atherton, 1 yellow from a ban. Squad is fine. Tough one to call home to Liverpool, actually. Don't know what I predict there. I'm hoping a 0-0 because I've got Hippier and Southgate. But Hippier seems to miss every clean sheet and then turn up when they get thumped. So, no, my luck, he'll play and Middlesbrough will win. I think Boxic is generally the good player at home and Rickard away it's been this season. So, why not continue to follow that, eh? Millwall. So again, they're not playing this week. 8 days until they play again, so it can change. But Alexanderson's currently a weak 90%, so he's another player that people might have. Obviously, he wouldn't be playing this week, but yeah, it should be okay because it's a week and the game's in 8 days. So unless he plays in the reserves with a twisted knee 90% and re-injures himself, but yeah, we'll worry about that at a later date. Missed all of Rickard's 15 goals this season. Oh, yeah. Well, I have as well. I haven't owned him at all. But yeah, he seems to get braces and stuff. Then he's like 0-0 brace, 0 brace. Yeah, it's pretty cool. He's a great player. Newcastle. So they're playing home to Sunderland. They are playing tomorrow, so they do get a little bit more on some of these guys. A lot of these aren't first teamers though. Everyone is fine, aside from being pissed off. Everyone is fine. Shearer's still fit, thank God. Very low morale. Maddison, 1 yellow from a ban. Stephen Hughes. Kieran Dyer. Yeah, home to Sunderland. So you'd expect big things from Newcastle in this game. Should be an interesting game. I think they can do well in this one. Could be red cards. Penalties. I've got Shearer and Phillips, so I'm hoping for a lot of penalties, to be honest. We shall see. Right, let's move to Sunderland. Obviously tomorrow away to Newcastle, as just mentioned. Some low percentage here for a few of the guys, but no first teamers particularly. Lawson's 3 weeks, damaged kneecap. Graham S. Newcastle did very well this week in CM Fantasy Sims. Oh, okay, good. That's nice. Yeah. I do think in the local derbies, the home advantage seems to be even more significant. Sunderland usually batter Newcastle when it's the other way around. Is Kinnear still insecure? He is. So it's just Lawson from the main guys that's injured here. Everyone else is fine. Phillips is unhappy, feels he's got no support from his manager. So again, rather than big him up when he's done well, he'll be praised in the media, and the manager, rather than praise him, has said he can do more or something like that. Let's see if it says it here. Rickard was praised. Steve McLaren agreed. It was been to the highest standards, that's why I was buzzing. For sale. Graham Rick's loyalty to Forsell is commendable. His patience with the player's poor form cannot be limitless. Phillips praise, there we go. See, I was right. And there we go. Phillips is very top of his form. Manager Peter Shreves indicated that while Phillips has been performing well, there is no room for complacency when playing at this level. Well done, Shreves. You've just pissed off your main striker. You dick. And my captain this week. Because obviously my captain is Ruud van Nistelrooy, who doesn't play. And I've now got it on Phillips in an away game, which is not ideal, but it is a derby, so hopefully you can do something special. But now he's pissed off, so that's good to know. Spurs today away to Bolton. Quentin Fortune is out for 2 weeks, injured during training. Decent news for Ziege at left wing, because also Etherington is 10 days. He's 4% though, despite being orange. So rips in the chat for him. So it looks like to me Ziege is in prime position to be left wing again. Did he get an assist this week or did I make that up? Yeah, he did. So clean sheet and assist. So maybe again. Give him a new contract, come on. Ledley King, who also might be on some people's bench, is a weak 90%. Watford tomorrow, home to Derby. Decent little game that. Ferrer is out for 3 months. Alba Ferrer, 3 months. Harrison, who does occasionally play, 3 weeks, strained knee ligaments. And Marcus Gale is 10 days, damaged shoulder, injured during training. That's significant, I guess, because he can steal set pieces and penalties from Petkov. And if he's injured, then he can't do that. So that's useful for Petkov owners. And wingers tend to do pretty well against Derby, don't they? So Tessem and Petkov could be decent shouts. I think that's your lot. Galley back fit. There he is. Pristine. An example to the kids. Straight in that training room. Yeah, might be a few Galley deeps out there. Home to Derby's not a terrible game to play him though, is it? Clean sheets are rare for Watford, but if they're going to... I mean, Galley can get bonus regardless. So it's not a terrible game. If you could be loving the old Galley, might be a saving grace for a few people out there. Well, there we go, guys. There's your lot. Does anyone want to see anything before I wrap this up and sort out... Because I've got to get this done by 3, and I've got to then type out all the benches and all that drama. Screenshots the like. I know you lot don't care, but... You know. Contrary to popular opinion, I do have some sort of a life. Remnants of one. Just clicking through the fixtures, see if anything mad's happened. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. No, we're all good. Yeah, 1 less there for the blanks still in the same place. Yeah. Player stats. Gareth up to 2nd. What a guy. Goals. Yeah, I'm going to see Kong versus Godzilla versus Kong. I already know it's going to be absolutely shocking, but I feel like when you haven't been to the cinema for so long, that's a cinema film, innit? I'm only ever going to watch it at the cinema for the cool action sequences, and it's never going to get looked at ever again, like every other Godzilla movie. So it's got to be done in the cinema, hasn't it? Just for that 10 or 20 minutes of CGI that's awesome. and just like put up with the painful acting and terrible script throughout the rest of it. Or it might be good, but I highly doubt it. Home record. Charlton, Derby and Millwall, the worst home teams. Watford have been pretty poor at home. Only played 14, but only actually won 6 of their home games. 20 goals, 24 conceded. Not great, is it? Godzilla 2 Kong 1 based on my Sims, mate. Yeah. Yeah, to be honest, I'm not sure. I mean, I don't know who wins, but I'm not sure how Godzilla doesn't win. He's like a giant fucking lizard with like scales and, you know, fire breath and shit like that. And basically one's a giant monkey who's like strong. Away from home, Millwall, shocking. 1 point away from home all season. They're not playing this week though. Derby only won 3 of their away games. So what for Derby is going to be a game for the ages then. Leeds the best away and home team. Interesting. Cool. Alright guys, we'll wrap it up there. Thanks for that. Sorry about the spontaneousness. This leak will hopefully be out today. I think Rob Pick said he'll do if I can get it over to him now. So look forward to that. It's going to be all the benches. I apologise for the rush nature, but you know why. And yeah. I think moving forward, hopefully from now on, I don't think I've got any surprises coming up. So we'll try and give it a little bit more focus and preparation. I know obviously you guys having a routine is important to know when to tune in and stuff, which can help it. So I'll try to maintain it as best we can for the last few weeks. I think it's Rory on comms this week. So good luck with that, Rory. Hopefully Thierry Henry scores a hat-trick for you. Good luck, everyone. Make sure you obviously listen to the pods, Sim It to Win It, Craig Kemp's amateur podcast. You've got the Man on Fire. You've got Clean Sheet Wipeouts pod, Season Keepers. You've got FPL Discussion, who puts out a great thread most weeks. You want to look at that. Sim Data in the Discord. There's so much stuff out there. Lordy Leroy's site, Whitebeard's site. There is so much information out there, guys. Now that FPL's finished, I feel like people can give it more attention if they want to. Try and smash it for the last 8 weeks. Why not, hey? Just tuned in last minute. And I appreciate it, guys. Everyone in the community who does all this work spends a lot of time on it. You know, for us, I think it's fantastic, honestly. I really do. And you never know moving forward. I don't know what the plans are for this, but there may come a time when real football's not here again, or in the off seasons when there's no tournaments where, you know, people will rely on that sort of stuff again. So it's good to have people they can go to in the community that have produced some content, and yeah, I'm sure we will appreciate it. All of the guys in the chat that use it as well. I'm sure most of you guys probably do. If you're here, then you're engaged enough. So yeah, massive big ups.